All right, we worked on this piece and that's full size, and we've seen a lot of things we forgot about in the process, but now I'd like to work on this bottom platform and see what that all looks like. One of the disadvantages of having a non-heated garage in Buffalo, New York in January is it's cold out here. So this is what it's looking like full size, 3 foot by 6 foot. And that's gonna be plywood on top. I'm hoping 1/4 inch plywood so it's not so heavy. Probably some insulation in between. And then from underneath, I'm gonna have to have some type of plywood again, I guess. It's not gonna be on the ground, but we can't have critters and everything living in there. And then I need, and the ends have to be pressure treated because the walls are gonna be there and the water's gonna drip down. What's gonna be in contact is these cross pieces, 2 3-foot pieces. They always have to be pressure treated. And then we have these alignment blocks that go that way if we want to extend the next platform that way. And then we're gonna have these alignment blocks that go in that way to extend the next platform this way. You know, in a beautiful world, right? If I was, 40 years younger and had a tractor, I just build a whole effing thing together and then use a tractor to move it. But I don't have a tractor and I'm not 20 years old anymore. So being that it's that size, pressure treated, double-sided plywood is like, my wife's not gonna be able to help me lift that. My kids are busy, like they don't have, like rent a kid anymore. So I have to like rethink. That might have to somehow, I was gonna take like just the platform and make the supports separate, but then there's no easy way to, like I'm not gonna have an end board because I need to have those pieces slide in. So there's no real easy way to make that. So maybe I have to make in 6 by 1.5 foot, 6 by 1.5 foot that then sit on top of those and somehow bracket in. I'm not sure. All right, so I built it in 1.5 foot wide sections. I still need another stringer in the middle here. So I went from 4 stringers or whatever to 3, but I'm also half the plywood, which is probably the heavy part. But then how do I make sure that this lines up this way, right? The 2 pieces have to line up. So I need somehow to, that's a section, then there has to be a pin that goes through to line them all up so they all sit on the same thing. How about this? How about we put a 2 by 4 underneath and nail it up on both of those. That gives me my end to end, my end dimensional stability. It'd be plywood on top. I can do my, that allow that, and then this down here would be a full length two pressure treated 2 by 4s, and I can have a pin that goes in between. I just have to figure out a way to attach this to here. And that would give it, all 3 foot would be on the same 3-foot piece of wood, or sections of wood, however I build that. So it all lay flat. Won't have to worry about it doing these things. Okay, so maybe not, I have to find out a way to do this, but if this end board is attached here, and attached here, 1.5 foot, that will give me end piece dimensional stability. And then this will be a 3 foot by 2 by 4s block type of thing that will be connected this way if we go this way. we'll be able to slide a pin in and out. Once that is in place, on the other side in place, and over there, if we did an end-to-end, a double platform, those supports would all be connected together however they need to be and leveled. Then this top would slide down right. This will be part of the platform, will slide right next to our supports. I could put a pin through here to hold the platform to the supports. And if we're doing end to end, I have room to get in on this side to bolt. And then this side, once we slide it in, we'll just drive a pin in like a bolt without a nut on the other side to hold it this direction. And it should, those supports should be leveled before we lay the platform pieces on. And these supports, if we're going double wide, will already be connected together before we lay the platforms down, so I can get those bolted together. All right, that's yeah, brain farts keep coming. All right, did I say it's getting effing cold in this garage? You know, if I had room, I'd put like a potbelly stove in here or something. Holy crap. Yeah, so I think next thing I'm gonna do for this project for today is make a list of more materials I need. Like I need some more 8-foot 2x4s, pressure treated. I need some regular 2x4s. I gotta see if there's some type of way to connect this to here without just toenailing it this way. Once there's some type of hangers, although it's right on the end, I'm not sure what I think about that. Okay, and figuring out if I have wood at home, hidden behind here for 20 plus years was a bunch of wood, because that was like the longest spot I had in the basement. It's like 12 foot long where I could store stuff. That's a 4x4 pressure treated post, 12 foot long, which I'm not sure what I have use for right now, but this is molding from when we did our cabinets in the kitchen. I think they need to repurpose that. Look over here. We got a bunch of 2x4s. We got some pressure treated 2x6s. We got some decking boards. We got this piece of shelving that's pretty cupped. And we got this piece of something from when my brother moved to Florida, I don't know, probably 30 years ago. You can see the big knot out of it. But I could repurpose this for my son's foam finger shelf that he's working on. He needs 3.5 inch wide by like 5 foot pieces, and maybe I could cut that and rip it and put that on the pile for him. I think that board would be very happy. It's probably, you know, like walnut or cherry or some special wood that he bought, but like I have no use for it. It's been sitting in my basement for what, 10, 15, 20 years.